This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk. I am Shekhar Gupta in a small factory in a special economic zone at Noida on the outskirts of Delhi. And my guest today, well, one of the most visible faces of the UPA cabinet, Kamal Nath. Welcome to Walk the Talk. You know, there were times when Commerce Ministry was not such a high profile or visible job. Times have changed.
Yeah, times have changed and times are changing. There's not one shift. Several paradigm shifts are taking place in the country at the same time. And that is what is putting India on the radar internationally. And that is what is leading to growth, a newfound confidence in India.
You know, you and I have talked about doing this for a long time. And the venue we always talked about was Chhindwara, your constituency. Right? And you know why we chose this one? Because I thought, now this is so much more your constituency, SEZs, much more than Chhindwara.
No, not at all. My constituency is Chhindwara. And it is Chhindwara which has got me here.
That's as
I can never forget that.
As an MP.
As an MP, it's because of an MP.
Yeah. But as a minister, this is your constituency now, SEZs.
No, well, there are several aspects. I think SEZs is only one of the engines. Because what we are looking at today is a young country. A country where 50% of our population, 60% of our population is below 25 years. And unless we are able to create employment generation, create new avenues of employment generation, unless we are able to be globally competitive in a globalizing world, where will India stand? So special economic zones is one of the major engines of growth as demonstrated everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, this is a tiny one in comparison to what is being planned now, and this has exports worth more than $1 billion.
Absolutely, this has exports worth more than $1 billion, and we must remember exports is incremental to what is absorbed in the Indian economy.
Right.
The Indian economy absorbs this much, and when we are exporting, that's the incrementality, and that really creates the jobs. We've done studies to find out how many jobs are created by exports, and today, in the 16 functional SEZ, 16 which are exporting, we are exporting 22,000 crores. We are employing 1.23 lakh people, out of which almost 35–40% are women. Right here in this factory, I was surprised myself to see that about 40% are women. So we need to ensure that manufacturing in India goes up. Why did China succeed? In Malaysia, 28% of their GDP is manufacturing. Right. In India, 17%. We need to take manufacturing from 17% to 25%.
And move people away from agriculture.
Well, in the end, one job in manufacturing creates 3 jobs in services. Now here, in this factory where we are at, you'll see people who will now be driving trucks, who will be doing all kinds of other things, who may have been in agriculture. Right. Because agriculture today, with 650 million people, contributing about 23 to 24% of GDP, is not viable. And with land holding patterns in India being 1 hectare, 1.5 hectare, largely, we have to ensure that manufacturing sector is our job creating sector.
Well, if it is so elementary, Kamal, why did this idea run into so much opposition, even within your own party, even among your own party colleagues in your cabinet?
Well, you know, there is a view that there is a tax foregone, and I think this is imaginary, because what happens in SEZ? This is for exports. They were paying excise duty and customs duty for the imports and then getting a refund. Now they don't pay it and they don't get the refund. So if you say that I have not been paid without saying that I had to refund it, it is not, it's not correct. So I think the arithmetic is wrong somewhere, and we need to correct it. This will be corrected. People will understand this. Imaginary losses. You know, one can presume anything and everything. It depends what the presumption is. When a man, I'm reminded of a joke, that a man comes very tired home, and he tells his wife, today I've saved 5 rupees. So she says, how have you saved 5 rupees? He says, I was late to the bus stop, so I ran after the bus, I missed the bus, and I walked home. So she said, why did you not run after the taxi? You would have saved 30 rupees.
Well, that is wicked. That's a new spin on being penny wise, pound foolish.
Well, I don't want to say it's foolish, but what I want to say is that we need to look at the facts in the proper perspective. What is employment generating? what creates manufacturing. Just wishing it or creating a law that we'll have manufacturing will not happen. You've got to attract manufacturing.
But given the way your government keeps enacting virtuous laws on all kinds of things, you might as well enact a law to create more manufacturing and a law to ban floods and a law to ban droughts.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. Since I believe that we have to attract investment in manufacturing, why is China, if we can take away just 10% of the manufacturing activity at China, it would create employment opportunities for crores of rupees. But employment, creating employment also costs money. You don't get it for free. So if you were to look at a special economic zone, the question to ask is, what's the controversy? The controversy is that, should we have manufacturing? If you want to have manufacturing, what is the best way to attract it? Do we want industrialization? What is the best way to attract it? Where do we have manufacturing? Manufacturing can't be in the sea. It has to be on the land. So that land has to come from somewhere. In any case, the state governments have to see to this. What can the central government do when somebody has the land?
Right.
And I believe that there is no better means of generating employment, of creating economic activity than the special economic zones, which are targeted for exports.
Then export-oriented manufacturing.
Because who will come to a special economic zone? Only somebody who wants to export.
Right.
And saying that there is diversion of investment taking place. This is a bogey. But somebody will only come to a special economic zone when he wants to export. Because if it's for the domestic market, he'll go outside a special economic zone, and that is amply demonstrated by the existing special economic zones.
But you know, Kamal, it's not just the finance ministry or some of your cabinet colleagues or sections of the left that are skeptical. Even Reserve Bank of India now has expressed concerns about this.
No, they've not. Reserve Bank have said, in fact, they've said that this is an engine of growth. Reserve Bank in 10 lines or 20 lines have said this is a good policy. In their last two lines, they've said, but it may lead to disproportionate investment in the states, because some states which are not attracting investment.
But that's already happening.
It's already happening.
Gujarat's getting investment, Haryana's getting investment, Karnataka is getting investment.
The Reserve Bank has in fact applauded this scheme.
So you have no concerns about what they have said, revenue loss?
Well, this is an act which is passed by Parliament, which has been passed by the Cabinet. It's not my scheme.
Well, I don't think you want to deny yourself the credit for pushing this forward.
No, of course I pushed it forward, and because I believed in it. Before we had the act, I put it on the net for 8 months.
Right.
Everybody provided their inputs. Of course, there were views that should we have these. The question is, should exports be taxed? Exports are never taxed. We never export taxes.
Right.
Now, should you first pay them and then get a refund, or not pay them and not get a refund?
So basically, what you are saying is you are taking away a transaction from the system.
Well, you're taking away transaction.
But then you're also disempowering people who carry out their transaction both ways, isn't it?
Well, that may be so.
A whole bureaucracy.
As I said, paradigm shifts are taking place. Several paradigm shifts are taking place.
Because you can win an intellectual argument in the political system. It's much tougher to win it in the bureaucratic system.
Well, I think it's not that there's so much of criticism in this. There is people who've said this. I think they really need to go and see SEZs. I think they really need to understand the ground situations. I think they really need.
So what